Are they paid? I don't know if they're paid on
They're
call.
paid.
Are they paid on call now?
They're paid shifts.
But sometimes
But
they won't fill those
they
shifts, right?
choose what their shifts are.
Yeah, and that's outside of my control, and I don't want to say care, but it's not how you have the words besides that. But yeah, we do have deputies. There's times they will drive an ambulance, you know. They're like, well, we don't only have one responder. We'll have them get here, and one of us will drive them down to the hospital real quick. We'll have the other deputy pick them up and run them back to their car. We want to get people to
I don't want to add a burden to the sheriff's department, but if you can think of a convenient way to try to report how that impact is affecting you, it would give us a better idea of the scope of the problem.
Yeah, and it's hard because it doesn't happen all the time. The fire gets called way more than we do.
Right.
You know, they're 95% of the time when somebody isn't available, they show up to drive.
Unless it's during the day.
Yeah.
Then you're slim pickings.
Yeah. I mean, these guys are all workers, you know. Same with, I mean, it's just volunteer service is getting very difficult. It was search and rescue, fire, you know. I get EMS gets paid, but I don't even know what they get paid. When I was in Marr County, it got so bad, and this has been 2010, so 15 years ago, that they do it a little different. They would have a schedule that our EMTs on a monthly meeting would sign up, and then deputies would take and fill in as drivers when there wasn't two EMTs, you know, on call or whatever. So, but I would do it just to help out, you know, and it was quite often, whatever deputy, if you're not working, you're on call for ambulance. So it's just becoming a problem everywhere, not just here. It's you know, like I said, people are busy. You know, the solution, I don't know. It's hard because it's like, you know, I mean, you can't pay these guys. You can't pay a full staff fire department in the city and towns. And, you know, I mean, taxes already high everywhere. You know, we just tried to get it, we couldn't get that passed, you know, so it's hard to get more money out of people, you know. I don't know what the solution is, you know. The hospital, I know Cyrus told me, and you know Mark's wife's from him, but one of the EMTs, but that he told me right around Christmas that they hired 2 more.
Supposedly 2 more EMTs during the day, but
yeah,
I don't know.
But what their scheduling is, I don't know. Like I said, as far as like impacts on the sheriff's office, as far as like deputies having to help out, it is, I won't say it's much of an impact because it doesn't happen. It's not like it's happening every single ambulance call. These guys though would probably be able to report how much they get paid, how many paid for fire stuff that they get to go help drive. I mean, New Year's Day, Sean was out running calls, so.
Okay, thanks, Sheriff.
Yeah, so.
Other questions?
Yeah, how are you fully staffed, like, to what your budget allows as far as deputies, or are you having like any retention issues or anything?
Not right now. We lost one detention officer who filled that.
Okay.
But that was, I can't, detention and dispatch already is like, I mean, minimal. I mean, there's times you only have one detention officer working with 40, 50 empties, so it's already,
Yeah.
It's not like I have extra positions. Deputy-wise, we have one deputy that retired in August. We have not filled that.
Who's that?
Just Mike Lewis.
Oh.
And then Deputy Aaron Rollins retired 31st, and we have not filled that. Part of it is I don't know what our future is going to look like as far as the commission helping, how much they can help or how long. You know, so I don't want to, like, technically those 2 positions are in my budget and I can turn around and hire them right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I need a little more concrete answer from county commissioners on what our future kind of looks like. And that's just things we're talking about right now, trying to figure out, because nobody really knows. I'm hoping, my hope is that I can hire one and have it be a South End deputy.
Yeah.
To fill that need. And then I would be able then to get the SRO back in school. I'm trying to find grants. And they're about impossible to find a grant that pays for wages for an SRO. I don't need $500,000 in body scanners and pamphlet material. I need the body. So, everywhere I look, it's, you know, there's not a lot of grants, but the few I find are, you know, this does not pay for wages. Or you gotta write a COPS grant. Well, the COPS grant, it's like, they pay like $25,000 a year for 4 years, and after 4 years, you have to pay for it. Yeah, you know, it's not a forever thing. You know, it might be something we do because it gives us $25,000 for 4 years. The reporting on it is god awful from the federal government, but you know, that might be an option, just because it is $25,000 better than none. But you know, my hope is we can at least fill that, get the ASRO back in school, and we're kind of where we are right now.
Sure.
As far as patrolling and shifts, you know,
Right.
and there's times that, you know, whether I work or captain or, you know, detective might have to work shifts, but, so I mean, it's kind of a hard, I mean, we're staffed to what I'm comfortable with right now.
Yeah.
So, if that answers.
Yeah, so 2 follow-up questions.
Yeah.
The search is still ongoing for a South End. There's no South End dedicated
Not right now.
deputy. Okay.
I had that.
Yeah, I know that
If
was.
the mill levy was gonna pass, I had a guy that was hired,
Yeah.
contingent on the mill levy passing. He's still interested in doing it.
Mhm.
So, you know, I have the person, you know, and there might be somebody else that's interested too, but I do know he's still interested. It's just, how do I rework the problem?
Yeah.
You know, we had the problem fixed, it was contingent on the mill levy, obviously that didn't work out, so now we've been trying to just, how do we rework it? But
Yeah.
I should be able to take one of the positions up here, move it down there. It's just they're not gonna be dedicated down there 24/7. They're gonna have to come up this way and help fill shifts, just like people go down there and fill shifts. So
Okay.
it's still better than nothing. So.
And then briefly, that you talking about the future of your department, is that still related to, you know, when they built the jail up in, or the prison up in Helena, and using a lot of that income?
Yeah, so, to meet our budget, you know, our revenue, just expenditures without having to lay people off, we had to bump our jail numbers up to 53 or 54.
Mhm.
Well, we only got a 46 bed facility. So we took our rec room and we had some money saved up in the CIP. We made that into like a 9-bed open pod. There's now a shower in there and bathroom, a toilet, and 3 bunk beds that are 3 high. So, and then we moved, had a custom cage built for our sally port, and that is now our rec room. So we don't have sally port anymore. Down the road, we can always take some of that stuff out if needed and remove that cage. You can take it apart from the outside. It's just, I don't know. So we have not been able to meet that revenue goal.
Mm.
We have not been able to do it. They're every day trying to find them. You know, like tomorrow, I think we got Mike and Tony are going to go pick up 7, but by the end of the week, we'll lose 4. You know, so it's trying to get it built up. You know, we're working on a couple other things. I just will see if it works out. The commission did step up and help us this year to help fulfill that shortfall a little bit. You know, and we have our cash we're good with our cash. I don't know exactly where we're at now with our reports, but they've created like a cap, like we won't go below, I think it's 500,000. So like we still have a little cushion where we can use some of that up if needed. Then the hope is next year we can lower that down a little bit to a more manageable number. But it's still, I don't know what the future as far as what we're going to do or how we're going to do it. But it's just trying to talk to, you know, county commissioners and figure out what they can do and, you know, what we can do. You know, we want to be able to at least try everything we possibly can, you know, before we figure something else out. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Other questions?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes.
So compared to 2024, was there an increase in crime in 2025 or about the same?
I would say it's probably about the same. You know, like our 2024 numbers, we had a bunch of, like we were at the highest we had in cases. Part of that was we had that mill levy, so we had guys out that, you know, free range, go out, do your job, and the more people you have out, the more crime you're going to find. We're making more traffic stops, the more drugs, the more warrants, and the more DUIs and things like that you find. Less traffic stops because they're doing taking calls, that number kind of dwindles down. You know, and they might be out, if you got more guys out and they're out patrolling, they might catch that guy that's breaking into a car, you know, stealing something out from somebody, right, red-handed, where now it's, we might get the call the next day and we go have to investigate and look into it. So it's kind of hard to say. I would say that, like, as far as like calls that come to the office and things that are like not generated by deputies out patrolling, it's probably about the same, you know. So.
Oh, and then another question is, how is the morale of your officers being stretched so thin?
We got fortunate, you know, right when it failed, it was like, okay, this is what we're gonna have to do. And a couple months later, it changed a little bit. And then it was like trying to figure out what, they had to lower everything, and it's like, okay, well, what can we do, what can't we do? And like I said, it's been fluid. So it's been changing, but overall, you know, they still got a job. You know, we're not telling them just sit in the office and do nothing. That's not happening. So they get to still go out and do their job and patrol, and, you know, arrest people and, you know, do what they enjoy doing, helping out. So I would say that, you know, we just got foot pursuit in the city. Yes, sir. It was very short. It was half a block on a bike and then in and out of the bushes and then alcohol and out of shape. Didn't last real long.
I'm delighted to hear that's among the most exciting things that happen here.
Yeah, there's probably more of it. You know, get into all that.
Alrighty.
It's not, some of the other stuff ain't exciting. We'd rather not deal with some of that other stuff, so. I know it's kind of fun sometimes for the schedule and shake somebody in the foot.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah.
for what you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Any questions from the public? Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep, and I'll be back next morning.
Okay, sounds good. Mr. Smucker?
Yes, I am Dale Smucker, and I am just wondering what we need to do to be able to set up the hockey rink in the city park over here.
So not just a skating rink, but a hockey.
No, just well, I don't know exactly what this rink looks like. It's been set up in the past. I talked to Hannah Rouser. I think it's been several years since it's been set up. I don't know exactly when it last was, and I don't know who did it when it was last done. She said she was planning to do it last year, and they just didn't have the manpower and the help to do it.
That is correct. By the time it got, Hannah was here in October
Yeah.
last year.
I remember the request.
And council authorized, gave the go-ahead to set up the ice rink when, after a couple of hard freezes. Well, by the time that happened last year, as I recall, the volunteers she had lined up didn't really want to be out there in that cold weather,
Yep.
so it didn't happen. So basically, if I understand, your request is you and your volunteers have the authorization from the council to set up the ice rink when it gets cold enough to do it, and you would work with Eric Crush.
Okay. And that's all right there. That authorization, your authorization right there is all we need to do that.
That is correct,
Okay,
but
and
it's the council's
Okay,
authorization.
gosh, if the council does that. Okay. All right, that answers that question, what we need to do. I guess I have a couple of other things. Does anybody here know who owns